Hi, today I'd like to talk about how service works detailed. So there's no question about what's going to happen on our first visit, especially after you had just given me a phone call, giving me the opportunity for work. So I'm going to read to you everything I just created on one of my web pages, which I'm going to link below in the description. But a lot of people want to know, how do I go out and perform work? Do I come out and do an estimate first? Do I schedule an appointment for another day? No, I like to kill two birds with one stone. If I come out to your house, I'm there to get the job done the same day. Yes, some people need an estimate first, and yeah, I have no problems doing that. But overall, I'd like to get the job done on the same day that I come to initially visit you on that first service visit. So let me go ahead and read some of this from top to bottom, and then this way you'll have an understanding of how I'd like to make our lives easier. Okay, so first thing I do is do an inspection. I will carefully walk through the areas of work that you have or project that you have and see how I can help. Moving furniture usually involves chairs, rugs, and sliding of couches. Okay, so what I really want you to do is don't touch anything until I get to your home. A lot of folks like to stack things on top or throw things in the garage, or make their life miserable, where probably if they do that one time, they'll never see me again. A lot of things can be slid. The chairs can be moved. The tables can stay put. Brake fronts, credenzas, or anything heavy like a heavy marble kitchen table and just keep those where we're at, and we'll work around them. Area rugs get usually uplifted, and they'll get rolled and usually put on the couch neatly before work begins. So once work is agreed upon, I will begin setting up in the deepest part of your home. So on the first floor of a house, if I come through the front door, I will go all the way back to the deepest corner, wherever it might be, to the left or right, the back, whatever it might be. And then I'm gonna work my way out towards the front door, leaving all the clean stuff ahead of me and working all the dirty stuff behind me. Okay, which some people have a hard time understanding of why, but there you go. So I will step one, I will gently apply an alkaline safe floor cleaning chemical to emulsify and bring grease and grime, black grout, to the top of the surface, okay? It melts away grease and grime and brings it to the top, making my job a little bit easier. So saturation is a key role in what I do every day. I will work it up to 1,000 square feet. So I may spray down a very large area up to 1,000 square feet of area. Nylon grit brushes will be used for scrubbing, especially walkways or kitchen areas or anywhere where there's really dirty areas that a tile cleaning tool couldn't get on its own. It needs some extra scrubbing. It's usually in walkways, kitchen areas, or anywhere that's traveled the most. A floor buffer or orbital will enter your home if needed. Doesn't mean that every house is going to need this particular service. I will say that in most homes, I do bring it inside because it helps scrub the floors, and depending on the overall existing conditions of the material. So some floors have a film on or a coating. Maybe you've been using Fabuloso or Swiffer mop products, and it literally leaves a film on the floor. Some floors are worse than others. And trust me, if it gets really bad, then it becomes a restoration job. And I'll usually put down my tools and alert you that this stuff isn't a typical tile and grout cleaning. We have to use more aggressive chemicals and products, which typically leads to a higher costing job, but it's actually more work, time, and energy, and aggravation. I usually work that machine the same way it is when I put the chemical down. I work it from the deepest part of the house back out, okay? Now, two hoses are going to enter typically through the front door or even the garage door, whatever we find easier to come in and out of the house. And this is where the magic really begins when I come in with this tile cleaning tool. It is called a turbo hybrid. The turbo hybrid is the best tool in the business. It's the most effective for safe indoor tile and grout cleaning. There is no better product. I've been using this tool all these years on all the homes and areas that I've done, and I can reassure you that you're getting the best possible cleaning experience that you can have, and it's known throughout the industry as being the best. This tool does provide hot steam and suction, and it removes the filthiest grout, dirty grout you can imagine. A typical job, which I don't mention on this, is 85 to 95% back to its original condition. Okay, so not all floors recover 85 to 95%. There is no guarantees or warranties, but I can tell you from experience, that is usually the difference. It all also depends on what pre-existing conditions are already in the home. So keep that in mind. I mean, I can move some of these mountains, but not all of them at times, especially on a home that's either never had service or it never had floor sealing before, or just had none of maintenance at all. So every job is a little bit different. Every home is a little different. You can't compare your house to your neighbor's house or even a family member's house. Everybody's house, is different, okay? The turbo tile cleaning tool, when it's attached to the two hoses, the vacuum line and the steam line, one's 2 inches and the steam line is a 1/4 inch. That is hot steam and suction, okay? Not just any hot steam, not going out and buying iron and steaming the grout. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a consistent 215 degrees and higher temperature, and really the heat is what gets it up. But the other key item that the tool provides is suction. So that's the large 2-inch hose sucking it up back in my truck mount. And it leaves it in the truck, all the water that I pick up from the floor that I saturated, okay, and from scrubbing dirty grout. And it really does an excellent job. It cleans the filthiest grout, trust me. That tool coming inside with the 2 hoses, you'll see a lot of times a nice template on the floor, like clean versus dirty easily. A lot of folks are impressed. They can't believe how dirty their floors were. Matter of fact, a lot of folks first tell me, hey, you know what? I think my floors are pretty clean, especially over here. And guess what? They're just as dirty as the areas that you believe that are clean, that the areas that are actually dirty in your opinion. So I like to make a splash and let you know that floors, if they haven't had service at least in 1 year in Las Vegas, it's time, okay? It's effective, it's efficient, it's not just about the aesthetics, it's about picking up the funk off the floor from sickness, disease, pets, and more. So upon completion of all this work in your home, I've gotten from the deepest part of your house all the way out the front door. I just covered 1,000 square feet, okay, which is a typical home for me in Las Vegas, Nevada. The next and last thing I will do is seal your floors. They say, Michael, how do you seal your floors? I seal your floors with a water-based DuPont product. Okay, I use several products, but my latest product is made by Stone Pro. I really stand behind the products. I really do believe they work. Now, when I say this, they make products repel and bead to the top of the surface, which takes up to 3 to 4 days to actually do its job because it needs time to cure, kind of like ham and bacon. They don't become bacon and ham until they've had time to cure. Same thing with fluorochemical products, okay, which is sealers. I use water-based. I'll cover both the tile and the grout. It will leave your floors looking natural. There is no haze, smear, or coating. Your floors will be just like they were when they were first laid, okay? Now, sometimes I run across people who have floors that are polished like natural stone. I typically stay away from floors that already started having polishing done on their natural stone, like travertine's a big one. Okay, if once you start one of these services, you must stick with that service. I cannot cross over and take off this polish. I probably could, but it may etch your material with scratches, indentations. They may be microscopic, but it's not good. So this is important because, especially travertine, and I'm glad I'm bringing this up. If you have travertine in your home, which is natural stone, the softest of all natural stone found in a home, you have to stick with the maintenance that you're doing. So if you hired someone to do a crystallization or a natural stone restoration, I got news for you. You got to stay with it, okay? Especially if they brought up a shine of any type. The most economical service would be cleaning and sealing with the procedures that I'm mentioning as we speak. But for purposes of natural stone, be careful. And sometimes you don't even know you have natural stone. But that's a little bit more. And I have another video covering travertine tile and grout maintenance and service, which you could check out on my YouTube channel. Okay, I'll probably link it here in this video as well. So after sealing's done, it'll be dry within 10 minutes. That means you can come back on the floors within 10 minutes, okay? It will appear, especially in Las Vegas, Nevada, where we got 100-degree days majority of the year. So it dries very fast, okay? The grout might take up to 72 hours to completely dry. And when I say what I mean by that is, like, sometimes grout turns dark when it gets wet, and it takes several days to completely dry. But the lightest of color that you see on your grout lines, that's what it will return back to, that lightest color. The darker color is either still wet or there could be permanent staining or discoloring on that particular area. Now, you say, well, how can that be? Well, you have a dog. Dogs pee, and that's acid on the floor. If you don't know about it, it will slowly etch the grout to a certain color, like yellow or dark brown versus light brown, or tan versus dark tan. So keep that in mind, okay? Not every area may recover, and it all depends on pre-existing conditions in a home, and that goes for new homes. So if you have a new home you're buying and you assume the house is brand new, anything could drop on the floor, especially like paint products when they go to a final paint in a home, okay, or turpentine or paint thinner. All these can affect the grout joint or an area where there's a problem, okay? So service is done. I've now sealed the house. There's no more service. Don't go out to the store and buy more sealer. Don't do anything. Don't put a coating on it. Don't try to get a high gloss product on it. Nothing. You're all done. Okay, service is complete. So at this point, people will ask me, well, geez, it looks beautiful. How long will this last? It will last most likely in a family setting once a year. Okay, aesthetically. Okay, from a professional tile and grout opinion, like myself, I'm going to tell you this service is practical once a year. Once a year. Why? It's not just about that aesthetics. You might have done a better job upkeeping the home, but the bottom line is that it's just it's a regular maintenance item. It's like changing the air filters in your air conditioner system. It needs to be done. I don't think there's a way of skipping it, to be honest with you. If you buy a house and you're in there for any length of time, you really want that to not just look good, but you want to be healthy in your own home, especially with pets, okay? Well, I hope that really helps you. I can get even further and deeper into this conversation and or helpful help about how I actually start and end service for you. And if there's any other questions or concerns that you might have, just leave it below. Most people don't even get to this end of the video, and I kind of feel bad because I think they missed out on a lot of good information all the way to the end here. And I hope you watched. But and I'm one of the few guys, which I'm going to make on another video, that only does tile and grout cleaning and sealing. I know tile and grout. I mean, yeah, other people do it, but they're not versed or rehearsed in tile and grout cleaning and sealing. I pretty much know it all, and I have maybe another 10 years left to service. I look forward to seeing you. I wish you a great day, and God bless.